Good morning. This is Monday, March 19th, 2018. I'm in room 511 on the 5th floor, the corner room. This is the bed I'm sleeping in. You see, it's too high. It doesn't go down. This is a big bag of stuff I have to carry to the dining room because they won't any longer let me bring my food to the room. Not my fault, their fault. This is my Bible, which I should have and read before I eat, but I probably won't because I probably can't put it in that bag without it being ruined. These are all, some of, if not all, of the vitamins that I take every morning in my life when I can. And I brought them here twice. Brought them here, then they forcibly they took them, stole them from me, kept them from me for 2 weeks while I could have had them every morning, but they refused to let me have them. And this is all of it, not all of it, but certain ones. This is the honey, very important. Got to take one of these honeys with me to breakfast to put on, if they give me pancakes or waffles, to put on them. If they don't give them to me, then I'll ask for them like I did yesterday. It's a real shame that this nursing home is run nursing home centric by a bunch of people who are either unprofessional or unqualified or stupid or mean. But I don't know which, but I'm going to definitely sue them on all these accounts of all these issues. I hope that I won't forget all of them. But here I am in a wheelchair. I don't know if you can see me or not, if I can get far enough away for you to see it. But every room in this building has a place to hang clothes that high, but nothing down low where I can reach it in a wheelchair. So it's not designed to be a nursing home to care for people who are either in wheelchairs or not. It's designed to be a place that fits the quote norm, unquote, or what it should be, without actually meeting the needs and concerns of the patients. This room is not patient-centric. It's something other-centric, institution-centric, worker-centric, employee-centric, not me-centric. I have to hang my coats on this, otherwise I have to risk falling to go up to get up there to do it. I'm just right now wondering where my cane is, my support cane. I'm wondering if it's in this room even, which it might not be, in which case I've got to find it. Everything is done. I brought these two containers here, and I brought 2 other containers. I had to bring many containers because I can't lift up a lot of heavy stuff. And they brought everything that I had brought here to use because it's my religious need and it's my personal need. And it's my way I heal myself is by using food and nutritious items that I consider right, and then I go to medicine. But these people want to sell me medicine, even if it harms me. They'd rather sell me medicine than to let me have control of my life. They talk about dignity. They say I'm supposed to have dignity here, but there is no dignity. For me, there's only dignity for those who are willing to comply to the rules, which make no sense and are not centered around my needs or the needs of other patients, but they're centered around some idea they have of what's right and wrong and how it should be. Now I've got to take this heavy bag, very heavy bag, and put it on the back of this wheelchair, and I can't get onto this bed because it's too high. It doesn't go down, it goes up. I was in a nice room until these people falsely diagnosed me as being crazy, which I was not, and then took me to the ER and punished me for 3 days and 3 nights, or whatever the time was, where they decided to call me schizophrenic so they could dope me up and put me into the class of those people who eventually might murder somebody when I don't know what I'm doing. That's what happens to people that take those drugs. That's why those people, most of them, if not all of them, go around who we all consider crazy and irrational, where they get a gun and they go kill a bunch of persons. If you read the stories about those persons, you'll find out that every one of them, or 99% of them, most of them, have been using some kind of psychotropic drug. Whether it's an illegal drug, which many today have used illegal drugs. So I'll try to put my Bible in here. I'll try to put this in there. Oh, shame. Trying to tell me how I have to. These people have had no shame in trying to tell me about how I have to have my religion so that my religion will comply with their idea of what's right and wrong, according to their religion. Even though in some cases they have a religion, they speak it, they proclaim it, they believe it, and they don't even realize that they're doing that, which has something to do with their ignorance as a human being. I'm going to put this down and pick it up in a second. The reason I picked it up and put it down is I'm going to put my vitamins in here so I can take them to the room and take a picture of them and then eat them in the breakfast room, which they're insisting that I go there to have my meals. So I got to carry, because they will not give me a safe diet that matches my needs and my desires. Then these are my pills. These are my pills that I want to take this morning. Last night I had to come in here and hide my food, sneak it in from the dining room so I could watch television while I ate. And oh dear, I need to have a pad of paper and a pen so I can write things down. So now I got to go back and get that. It's about close to 8 a.m. I don't know what's going to happen, but I sort of have to anticipate what's going to happen and guess, and then try to make sure that I do what I can do so that things are the way they should be from my point of view. Also, I got to be here this morning because they're coming. The foot doctor, the wound doctor comes, will want to see my feet and do something about helping me deciding whether I can go or not, how well my foot is healed from a wound that was caused by medical doctors, not by me, because they wanted to do medical doctoring in their elitist, we'll take care of you if you just trust us attitude, when there's absolutely no reason to trust them, because what they do is not based on science. If science is people doing double-blind studies and making experiments and finding the truth and promoting the truth, then they're not involved in doing that or trying to do it. If science is real science, they use science in medicine to cajole people into paying a lot of money for medicine, not proving or disproving anything. Very little of what they do in the medical field turns out to be scientific or true or constant, because give them 50 years and they'll be doing something else. Because give them 20 years, they'll be giving you different medicine because their patents on their medicines run out, and then people can copy them. And the whole way it's set up and operates is not user-friendly. or patient friendly. It's all, yeah, well, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. It's all it's not user friendly. It's all, it's the spring. Well, maybe it's not the spring until next week. The March 16th, which was 3 days ago, was New Year's. We're late giving our New Year's talk. Oh, now they don't even have this open yet. They don't have to have it open. I'll come here this morning. I'd like to be here to absorb the vitamin D sunlight, but I can see there's not going to be much of it this morning. This is about close to 8 o'clock in the morning. Good
morning.
Oh, good morning. Who's that? How are you?
I'm all right, yourself?
Oh, that's good. I'm all right. Well, no, if I said I'm all right, I'd be lying to you. Because if I was all right, I wouldn't be here, would I?
Well, sometimes you go places.
I wouldn't be in a wheel. Huh?
Sometimes you go to places to get better.
Well, then that means I'm not better yet, am I?
Well, you're in the right place to get better then.
No. This is not the best. This is the worst place to come to get better. It's just a business to make money. Pretend they're like magicians or scientists, but they're neither scientists. They're very lousy magicians. But they're real good at getting people to do things that will make them have to come here and die and be sick. And they got you, they got me, they got all of us.
Well, I'm sad you feel that way, but I believe that, God holds everything.
Well, you believe that, but that's your religion. That's okay. I have a religion doesn't agree with you.
Okay.
But that's okay. I don't mean you have to believe mine. You believe the same religion that all these people believe. You think you believe in Jesus, probably, but actually what you believe in is medicine.
No, I believe in Jesus.
Well, when you get sick, do you go get prayed for, or do you go to the doctor?
I pray.
Oh, good.
I pray.
Yeah.
Because the real healer is not the medicine.
Yeah.
It's God.
So what do we need medicine for then?
Well, things have, how can I put it?
Yeah.
I'll put it like this. I believe that God also allows the intelligence that He's given to man.
Yeah.
Like for instance, penicillin.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of things, or even natural things, like lemons. There's natural things that can heal you too, as well as medicine.
Well, medicine can't heal you.
Well, I'm saying it can.
Do you know what the word medicine means? Do you ever look it up in the dictionary?
What does it mean?
It means poison.
It probably could be. Some
now you don't believe me, do you?
No. Some things.
Well, I looked it up in the dictionary.
No, some things. You're correct.
Did you ever look it up in the dictionary?
No, I haven't. But some things.
So how do you know what it means?
Like for instance, antibodies. Sometimes if you get bit by a snake, you need some snake poison to counteract it. You ever seen that happen? Heard that happen?
No, I haven't seen it happen. I haven't heard it happen.
Right.
But I know about snake poison, but
even if you see,
do you think the devil's represented as a snake in the Bible or as a god?
Even if you see the emblem, the doctor's emblem is always two snakes.
Well, it's supposed to be representing what?
Oh, you drink palm. That's healthy.
Well, you know what a fight I had to go through in order to drink palm here?
Why?
Because they don't want me to drink palm here.
Why?
Because it would heal me without a doctor, without medicine.
Wow.
And they would rather me go to. Well, they've tried. I bought it and brought it here, and they sent it back to my house. I had to go to my house and get some more, or go to the store and get it again. They made it so impossible for me to heal here that I'm going to sue them. And I'm going to go into a courtroom, God willing, maybe I'll do it and maybe I won't, because I'm not so proud. I'm not speaking proud here, I'm speaking truth. How many times have you read the Bible?
I have it all the way. I read it every day.
How many times have you read it?
Every day.
The whole Bible?
I have read it every day.
Have you ever read every page in this book?
All of my life.
That's good.
All of my life.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question. Was Abraham a rich man or a poor man?
He was a rich man.
Did he believe in Jesus?
He believed in God.
Did he believe in Jesus?
He believed in God.
So you don't think
I don't know if he knew Jesus at the time, because that was in the Old Testament.
Well, then you didn't read the whole Bible, or you don't remember all that you read.
I know that in the beginning, the Bible says that
Didn't the Jewish people, when Jesus was living, didn't they want to kill him because he said he had met Abraham? Didn't they call him crazy?
Oh, that's right.
If he said he met Abraham,
"I am right."
how come you believe
But he
Jewish people?
He met Abraham once Abraham died.
How do you know that? My question is, listen, the question, how do you know that? Who told you that?
If you read the word,
Yeah.
even on the Mount of Transfiguration.
If I read the word, even on the Mountain of Transfigurations, the question I asked,
there?
what was the question I asked you?
You said, did Moses know Jesus?
No.
Abraham knows Jesus.
Well, who was on the Mountain of Transfiguration?
I think that was Isaac, Jacob, and Christ.
Well, then, was Abraham there?
No, not Abraham. I'm going to say Isaac.
So the question, go back to the question, and I'm not against you. I'm completely for you. In fact, that you say you read the Bible is good. I read the whole Bible when I was 11 years old. It took me 70 hours and it took me 2 months to accomplish it. But I didn't understand a word of it. That's not true. I didn't understand the point of it.
Right.
And
Sometimes
since I was
you have
old
to read
enough,
it more than once, yeah.
well, I had read it all. I had learned a lot of the stories before, but I read it, and I didn't understand it. And I realized that, but I said I was going to either put it up and forget about it, figure, well, if I read it and I can't understand it, then maybe it's not for me. But then I decided I'll read it again.
Okay.
Maybe I missed something. It's a big book. And then what I did the second time, I was still 11 and 2 months. I said, God, I don't even know if you exist. I'm just 11 years old. What do I know? And I said, please teach me your truth. If you have some truth, God, that you want me to know, and if it's in this book, or if I can get it from this book, then please, I'll read it again and show it to me. Now, I also said, unless you don't want to show it to me, maybe there's some truth that you don't want me to know. In other words, I took a position of really humbly saying, give me what you want to give me.
Exactly.
Right? Did Jesus ever take a collection when he preached?
Did he?
No.
No.
Did he give people food and money when he preached to them and heal them?
He gave them food.
And did he give them money?
I don't know if he gave them money. I think
Why don't you know that? If you know,
I think the only thing where I hear about where he gave money, or any kind of money, was when he had, I think it was one of the disciples to get the tithe out of the fish mouth.
So where did he get the money from that he gave to pay his taxes? He stole it from the fish, right? I'm making a joke.
Right, I know. He got it from a fish, right.
So some poor person lost that money for it to be in the fish's mouth. Someone had to lose it. Whatever it was enough to pay your annual taxes. Now, I read the second time through, brother, and when I got to John 1, first chapter of John, I understood. I started to understand the truth about Jesus, about God. I had read the Bible twice through. It takes 70 hours to read the Bible. Woe to any person who speaks English and can read, and they 70 years old die and they never read the Bible and they don't know anything about Jesus. And God's going to say the first question, did you read my book? Then there won't be any more questions after that. All these people die and they come back and they say, oh, I was going up a light tunnel towards God. What does it say in the Bible that happened to a believer the instant they're dead?
Tell me.
It says, in the twinkling of an eye, you'll be in the presence of the Lord.
Those are who?
Those who are in the presence of the Lord before they die.
Okay.
And I don't want to tell anyone what to believe. I'm not doing that. But I understand that we are not all God's children on this earth until and unless we ask God, until we become God's child. That's
How
what
do
it.
we do that?
John 12, the first chapter, the 12th verse. And to those who received him, he gave them the right to become the children of God. Huh?
How
can
do you
it?
receive them?
Well, you got to reread that. He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
Right, that was the Jewish people.
Well, he was a Jewish person, and all the people following him were Jewish persons. There were certain people called the Jews who didn't receive him.
Right.
But not all the Jews believed the same thing. Do you go to a church, a denomination?
Yeah.
If you go all over the world, some of the people believe a little differently than
Of
you
course,
do.
everybody has their own opinion,
Well,
right.
there's some churches where that isn't the case. You
Right.
know where one
Okay.
was?
Where?
The book of Acts.
Okay.
You know what it said?
What did
It said, and they were all of one
Accord. That's when they had.
You know where
that's
else?
when the Holy Spirit came.
Well, no, that's a time when the Holy Spirit came and entered the church, yes, baptized the church, rather than receive the church. But you know people were baptized by the Holy Spirit in the Old Testament?
I think he said they had, but I think in the Old Testament when the Holy Spirit, or they said the Spirit came upon them. But I don't know if it remained with them.
You don't know much. Why don't you ask one of them?
I asked one of who?
One of those persons.
What person? The Old Testament person?
Yeah.
Well, I know that in the Old Testament it says my spirit will not always remain with man. But then in the New Testament...
But that wasn't my question. You see, forgive me for saying this to you.
Answer me.
You're telling me things that some man told you or that you figured out after you read the Bible. And they may be true, and I may need to learn from you. But also it's possible that a demon said that idea to the first person that said it to another person.
No, I don't
It's not
know.
possible.
Well, not when I got it out of the Word.
But you getting it out of the Word, and then someone told you, and you gave them money to explain to you what it meant. And you're repeating what they said.
No, I didn't give
And maybe you're not. Maybe you got this yourself.
I'm going to give you what is chapter.
Huh?
I'm going to give you the chapter.
No, that doesn't. You don't need to give me. You know, the Bible didn't have chapters when Jesus quoted it.
No, I'm saying...
Yeah. Well, what
Okay,
I'm
so you're
saying
saying-
is, you're trying to prove something to someone who you don't have to prove anything to.
Right, I'm not trying to
'Cause
prove
you
it.
can believe
You
any-
ask me a question.
But you don't get to my question yet.
Go ahead.
My question. This is not the right thing, but it is the right thing. People only find out about God from other human beings. Remember what I told you? I said the second time I read it. I asked God to explain it to me. But you know what I found out? God never teaches anyone anything privately. If He taught it to me, or she taught it to me, I'm making a joke because some people today want to call God she.
Okay, yeah.
All right, but in other words, people learn about God from other people who charge them money. And people get rich teaching people about God, and they drive limousines or Cadillacs, and the people give them the money don't have food to eat.
Right.
And they think
I know
they
there are
think
people
they're
like
going to
that.
go to heaven because they're preachers.
Well, you know, the Bible speaks against doing that.
Yeah.
In the New Testament, it
Yeah.
speaks about...
Well, you show me a person who's a preacher who isn't doing that one way or another.
Well, he's going to be judged.
Well, then why in the world would you want to follow a preacher that's doing that?
Well, who does that? I don't follow...
I don't know a
preachers
church. Oh, good. Well, wait a minute
I
now.
don't follow that.
You know, when you go to, do you ever go to church or don't you go?
like that. Yeah, I do.
Do you put money there?
I only pay my tithes.
Well, you're following the devil if you're paying your
Well,
tithe.
it's-
I think maybe.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Why? When you should pay something towards the
Who
ongoing...
told you that?
Well, let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
How does the church function? Who keeps the lights on? Who keeps the heat on? Who pays for the oil?
Now, you know how many times I've heard people tell that to me?
No, I'm just
Person you
asking.
don't know, never met? You know how the Amish go to church?
No.
They go in their living room.
Right.
And they have a living room big enough for the whole church to meet there about 3 times a year.
Right.
You know how many members are in
Well,
their
that-
church?
How many?
12.
Okay.
With their
and that's-
families.
and
Well, most
basically-
of them have 12 children,
and
so
that's-
there's 144.
and that's the way in the old
Well, the
In the New
Amish don't.
Testament,
Huh?
that's how they used to do. They used to go from house to house.
Oh,
They did do that.
so now why do you got to pay lights
But
then?
hold it. But then they had temples,
Well, the temple is.
and then most of the
You know what
temples
the word-
there,
you know what
they
the-
had to pay. To
No,
the
no, there
temple.
was one temple.
Okay.
The priest owned it.
Right.
It was made of gold. But you see, it's okay. I'm not succeeding because you're not learning anything new out of our conversation.
I've learned a lot.
Oh, good.
I always learn something when I speak to somebody.
Well, and so do I. That's why I love to speak to people who don't think the same things I do. I learn something.
Because there's always something.
You know what we do when we have church in my church, and I have 12 of them, but only ones I've had, except for one. All the rest always meet on the streets or in the park, like Jesus met in the park. Jesus had church in the park. Called it Sermon on the Mount, they called it.
He had it on a boat.
Yeah. When he went into the temple and did it, they threw him out and tried to kill him. And they didn't go in it. He didn't go into the temple, but in the synagogue, which is what you're talking about, not a temple.
Right.
You know what the word church means? It means congregation.
Right.
It's a Jewish word that means congregation. Hello.
Listen, I got to go because I'm late for
All right. What is your name?
Robert.
Robert.
All right.
I wish you would write down my email. And
I work here, so
I'm going to be gone Tuesday unless they keep me here longer.
I'll come back up later.
Today, my name is Tabitha. I'm going to be 8.
Your name is
Tabitha.
Tabitha. You're my aide today?
Yes.
All right. That's wonderful. Thank you. I need a lot of things. You know, I do need something. In the refrigerator, there's a jug it's not like this. It's straight up. It's black or blue, and it has juice in it. And I need that juice for breakfast. But I wasn't going to bother getting it because I wasn't going to bother anyone to go after it. But if you don't bring it, then I'll drink a lot of this. If you bring it, I'll drink some of this and some of that. Oh, and is this going to be safe here? I've got to go to my room and get my water jug.
Yeah, nothing.
It's full of water and stuff I put in it. Sorry, what did you say here?
That's fine, yeah.
Can you bring that juice to me here? You think this will be safe here if I go
Yes.
and come back from my room?
Yes, no one is going to touch it.
So that's what that was so far. Hopefully we're going to stop this now. We're going to finish another one in a minute or two. Hopefully you heard that conversation. And if you did, it's good. If you didn't, then it's not good. But we have church. And our church is going to be this. We are not going to charge people to come to church. And we're not going to get paid. And we're not going to have lights and those kind of things. If we do, it's going to be because people who have gotten very wealthy, they've gotten so wealthy that they can afford that stuff without having to tithe. Because if you have to tithe, if you are tithing,
using a charcoal barbecue inside a home.
what you're doing
Police
without
were called to
realizing
the
it.
home on Cumberland Street in Mastic just after 9 o'clock last night after getting a call about people falling unconscious inside the home. Investigators say someone was using the charcoal grill in the basement.
Our gifts to you. You'll also get charged 5 years. That's Sharks Cord Fleece 60 days.
Put this TV very low and hopefully put it back up if and when the 700 Club comes on. Now I got to go to my room and get that jug of water. All right, thank you. It's big and heavy? It's full? All right. Then what I have to have someone help me do after I finish my meal, I'm waiting. Oh, and they're going to forget to bring me pancakes, but let's see what they do. When they bring me my meal, I'm going to look at it, and it's not going to have pancakes on it, and I may want pancakes brought up, so I'll ask for that. Thank you.